Hey folks, and welcome to the latest video in the Rhapsody Power Pack series. I'm Andy Lapping, and in this video I'll show you the Model Visualizer. Now the Model Visualizer generates a dynamic tree graph of the model from any starting point. It can generate a view of the structure of the selected element, or it can generate a dependency graph. Let's look at visualizing structure. Here in this sample model, let's select the Subsystems package and then invoke the Model Visualizer from the toolbar. Here we can see all of the top level elements in that package. Nodes in the tree have the same icon that Rhapsody uses for that model element. Hovering over a node displays a tooltip, and if the model element has a description or a specification for requirements, that's included in that tip. By default, the tree expands to one level, but that can be changed in properties. Clicking a node dynamically expands just that part of the tree. I can drag the canvas to pan around, and I can double click or right click the background to have the graph fit into the window. Clicking another part of that tree expands just that part, collapsing the others. If I want to expand all of the nodes, all of the tree, then I can do that using the expansion level menu at the top. Let's expand that out to 5 levels. Now we can make the window larger, and then we can use that double click or right click to zoom to fit. Okay, let's collapse it again. First, I'll select the root node of the tree, and then I'll use the expansion menu to choose one level of expansion. Now I can restore that window down so we can see Rhapsody behind it, and again zoom to fit. Here in the Options menu, we can have the helper highlight a model element in the Rhapsody model browser when we click a node in the tree, along with other options for opening the Features window or opening a clicked diagram. Let's toggle the Locate in Browser option on. Now every time I click a node, it's highlighted in the Rhapsody model browser. If I click a node that is a diagram, then the diagram is automatically opened. Now, no, it doesn't actually expand in the graph. By default, the tree visualizes structure, that is, elements owned by other elements. And there are no model elements under this sequence diagram in the Rhapsody model browser, other than the internal classifier roles. Now we'll change that in a moment, but first let's switch the Locate in Browser option off. Now, clicking a node doesn't highlight it in Rhapsody, which lets me freely explore the graph without expanding Rhapsody's browser. Now I can still navigate into Rhapsody at any time by hovering over a node and pressing the spacebar. Now there are many options for configuring the visualizer, and we do all of that in Properties. Let's change the diagram strategy from showing its owned elements to showing the elements on the diagram. This time, when I generate a visualization, clicking a diagram expands that node to show the elements that are actually on that diagram. I can easily filter the content of the generated graph in multiple ways. First, let's look at Properties, which we can set at package or project level. Now we can provide either white or black lists, and those can be either lists of types or Rhapsody queries, which is very powerful. Let's start by providing a simple white list by typing into that white list property. We only want to see packages and, let's say, blocks. Now let's generate another visualization for that package, and we'll expand it out to 5 levels. But this time it's a much smaller view containing only packages and blocks. To use queries, we supply a comma-separated list of the queries we want to use, again as either white or black lists. Here I have a query which includes blocks and their features, like value properties and event receptions and so on. I need the full path to that query, which I can easily get using another Power Pack helper, getFullPath. Now I can paste that into that whitelist queries property. Let's generate another visualization, and again we'll expand that out to 5 levels. And now we can see the event receptions that are in those blocks. Now we can encapsulate the scope and the filtering into a visualization model element. For example, here on this model visualizer diagram, I have a visualization called Visualize Blocks and Actors. It includes both the analysis package and the subsystems package in its scope, and it uses 2 different queries to provide a whitelist. If I select that visualization and invoke the helper, and again we'll expand that out to 5 levels, there we now have a dynamic graph with just those elements. Now, since queries can use context patterns and even Java, this provides an incredibly powerful way to build a custom visualization examining any aspect of the model. And of course, you can have as many of those as you want. One last thing, look and feel. Now, there are 2 categories of look and feel. First, the dynamic behavior. For example, what happens when you click a node in the tree? Should we change its border color? And what color should that be? And there are a raft of properties to control that aspect. Secondly, there's the static look and feel, i.e. that's what the node looks like normally. Now, by default, its color scheme is taken from the profile. For example, this visualization node has a red border because the corresponding new term stereotype in Rhapsody has a red border. So if you use your own custom profiles, the visualizer will respect any existing color scheme. That can be disabled in properties, and you can provide your own color schemes, either through properties or through profiling. For example, here in the PowerPack Samples folder, we have a sample profile that simply tells the visualizer where to look for its color maps. Color maps are specified using CSV files or Excel files, and this sample uses several. Let's look at this one, which modifies the color scheme for, amongst other things, packages, actors, and use cases. Let's add that sample profile to our model using File, Add Profile to Model. So Rhapsody PowerPack, Samples, Model Visualizer, Color Map Sample. Then I'll again select that visualization on the diagram, and once again we'll run that helper. This time our nodes use that color scheme specified in those sample color maps. Well, that's it for this video. Over the course of the series, we'll explore the rest of the Rhapsody PowerPack features that will greatly improve your Rhapsody user experience. So please do subscribe if you want to be notified as those videos get published. But for now, thanks for watching.